Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in today on this webinar. I'm Rakhi Talukdar, and I'll be your host for this evening. And today we have with us two distinguished guests from the UpGrad Institutes who are going to talk about pursuing an AIML course in the US at the heart of New York City from a university called Mercy University. Before we go ahead with the webinar, I'd just like to lay down a couple of ground rules for everyone to follow. You would not be able to ask any questions live, but you can see that there is a Q&A chat box at the bottom. So that is where you can put down all your questions for our experts to answer. And I'll also encourage you to ask as many questions that you want, whether it's with respect to your education in the US, whether it's with respect to any subject-specific query that you may have. With that, let us begin this webinar, and I would like to extend a very warm welcome to both of our guests, Dr. Dakshinamurthy Koru, who is the Provost at UpGrad Institutes, and Professor Venkatesh Sunkar, who is also working with UpGrad Institute and is a professor at UGDX Institute of Technology. And both of them have, done their degrees from United States. Dr. Dakshinamurthy Koru holds an MS and PhD in Material Science and Engineering from Carnegie Mellon University. And Professor Venkatesh Sunkar is also a PhD in Electrical Engineering from the University of Colorado, USA. Well, we are so happy to host you on this webinar. And to start this webinar, I would like to ask our very first question, that the program we are discussing here, which is an MS in Computer Science with an AIML concentration. So what is this program all about?
Sure. I will take this question. I'll answer it in some detail so that all the participants will get a context. And Venkatesh, let's do it in a conversational style. I mean, I'm so glad for past, 9 or 10 months, we have been working together to create this. So it's really nice finally to see it happening. Guys, UpGrad, you all know, is India's largest edtech company. We, with a vision to have classroom education, started UpGrad Institutes. And we work with a university, design a program, and help them offer it with the right faculty, right accreditations, and all that. We have a bachelor's program in India, a master's program, which we are going to talk about in New York, and a doctoral program in San Francisco, 3 different universities. And so we probably are the only institute that has bachelor's, master's, doctoral, and enterprise education and certificates in AI/ML. Roughly 60 faculty members, many of them are PhDs. In that, Venkatesh and I were together in designing this program. So 2 things that really that were our focus when we were designing this is the major issue that most master students are facing in US is they go there, complete their study, then they start searching for OPT. Now they have a duration of 3 months or so before which they have to find a position, else they have to come back. And that puts them under tremendous stress. In 3 months, you have to find a job. So they go all over the place in 3 months. So they go and get into some kind of stupid deals with the consultants and do whatnot, and still unable to find the job. Before, around 30-40% are not able to sustain that 3-month thing. Those who sustain also are taking more than a year to get their feet on the ground, actually start working. So what we discussed, Venkatesh, I with Mercy, is let's give our guys a head start in that. So during their masters, let them do 9 months of CPT, where they don't have any pressure. They can find a job at their convenience, and then they get 3 years of OPT. So they actually have 9 months stress-free time to find a position, start getting into the job, and then when they end the program, they have 3 more months. So essentially you get 12 months of search time. So you can do it really well. and Gen AI, which is a hot area, which I'm sure we are going to talk about. And then you get 3 years. So that was the design, and Venkatesh really worked out how to organize the course structure to bring all of that into the place. So this is an MS in AI, computer science with a specialization in AI and ML that provides the student this unique opportunity to complete their program partly in India or wholly in US. That we will get into the details. But the last 2 terms, you actually get to do a CPT, then extend it to an OPT. Okay. So Raki, now you can probably ask what are the most important features that you would like the participants to know before we can answer their questions. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you so much, Professor Koluru, for sharing a little bit of detail about the program. And I think one of the best aspects about the program is that they have such a long period for a CPT to do a capstone. And that essentially makes them more prepared, especially in New York City, which, as we know, is the hotbed of AIML jobs currently. For all our learners, before we go ahead and discuss in greater detail about the curriculum, so on and so forth, I'd just like to lay down the structure of the program. So essentially, this program from Mercy University, it's a 20 months of program. And as Professor Koluru rightly mentioned, that the initial period is what you're going to be doing online from Mercy University, and that is going to be for a duration of 4 months. So during that 4-month period, you're going to be in India, you're going to study from Mercy University, and you're going to complete term 1 here in itself. And that will attribute to 9 taught credits. Thereafter, you will move to Mercy University, you'd move on campus. You'll spend 16 months of campus to complete the remaining portion of the program. And the whole program is for 18 taught credits plus 9 credits for your capstone. So overall, that would include 27 credits, and you would hence earn a degree from Mercy University.
So I think Venkatesh, Raki,
Yeah.
there's slight difference there. So let Venkatesh comment on
Yeah.
exactly the
Perfect.
term.
So,
And Venkatesh, just one request. Instead of months, can you talk in semester? Because semester can be 4.2 months or 4.3 months.
Absolutely.
So please go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you. So thank you, Raki, and thank you, Dr. Morti. My name is Venkatesh, guys. First of all, thank you. And I'm speaking from Bangalore, just to give you a context where I am physically located right now. So good evening. Definitely. So let me lay out the structure of the program or the framework of the program so you get. So as Raki rightfully said, you will be doing the first semester in India online. And then you will have actually, the remaining semesters, we'll talk about it in the US. The first semester, you will be doing 9 credits, basically online. And then you will be doing the remaining. So there are totally 36 credits in the program. Out of the 36 credits, 27 credits are taught, and the remaining 9 are, capstone or CPT. I'm going to spend a little bit time, 1 minute on CPT when I come to that. Let's now first talk about the taught credits. The 27 taught credits that you're going to do, 9 are you going to do in India. The remaining 18 you're going to do on campus in, as Raki rightfully said, in New York at the Mercy University. So the 9 credits are taught online. The 18 credits are taught in person. Okay, in person. So basically, you will have a combination of online in India, so that if you are working, if by chance you don't have to resign for that, for a 1 semester, that's a huge advantage for you. Obviously, when you go to US and if you're planning to go to US, obviously if you have a job, you'll have to resign. But that 4 months you can actually prepare in India, and obviously, you can earn and all that you can do because the classes are going to be taught on the weekends. So that way it will be much useful to you. So it will be on a Saturday and on a Sunday. The classes will be taught so that if you're working, obviously on the weekdays you can work. And so it's a flexible, that way we have made it when you're in India. Obviously, when you go to US, you will be a full-time student. So I don't think it makes a difference whether the classes are on weekend. So overall, the structure is 36 credits. 27 credits of thought and 9 credits of capstone or CPT.
So Venkatesh, when is the first Indian term starting?
Exactly. So the first Indian term is starting on the first week in January. As of today, we are planning it to start on January 6th, Dr. Moore. So basically, the first is starting on January 6th, which is a Saturday.
So semester is roughly 4.5 months. So Jan 6 to Feb 6th, March 6th, April 6th, May 6th, and then end of May, they will complete their program.
Absolutely.
And June, July, they will make the
Get
arrangements
prepared
for the
visa
travel.
and everything.
And then August,
in
they are in
August, they will
US.
start in FPSC. So basically,
So
just to
there
repeat,
please go ahead.
just to
Please
repeat
go
what
ahead.
Dr. Morti said was, basically January 6th it will start. So January, February, March, April, 4 months plus, a little bit, let's say assume end of April, you will finish all your coursework.
End of April, they may not be able to finish. Jan 6 to Feb 6, Feb to March 6, March 6 to April 6, April 6 to May 6th. And then 2 more weeks. So end of May, they will finish
it. And then you will have about, May, June, July, sort of you can prepare for your visa and all other things.
Travel.
And travel. And in August, you will start your coursework.
So in US, when they go there, fall, they have August, September, October, November, December. And then they do another 9 credits. Then spring, they will do 9 credits.
9 credits.
9 credits. Then what happens?
Then after, so basically the 18 credits are done. So you will be doing 9
18
credits
and in India, 9 are done.
Okay, so 9 credits in India, 9 credits in fall. Fall basically in US, if you're not familiar with August, September, October, November, or September, October, November, December is fall. Then January, February, March, April, and some part of May is spring. So 9 in India, 9 in fall, 9 in spring. So basically you will have 27 thought credits is done. Then 2 full semesters, the spring semester and the summer semester and the fall semester, you will do your capstone, which is the CPT.
So total 9 credits of capstone. It doesn't matter. Credit award will be summer 3 credits and fall 9. So they get that. So by the end of spring, they get approval for the CPT. So entire summer they can they can work. Or then entire fall they can work as students, so no pressure to come back. And then their OPT starts from January, that will be 25 or 26 bus.
26.
January 26, because January 24 is when they are starting. January 26 to 29, they will have their OPT. Good. So that clarifies. So Venkatesh, in India, these 4 months, 4.5 months, during weekends, is it live or recorded lectures? How does that work?
Excellent question. It is going to be live. And it is going to be live online thought courses, guys. When I say live, what do you mean to say? Just like we're doing the Zoom here, there will be a professor who will log into the thing, and you can actually start having that. He will be teaching as you're listening to the webinar. There will be a professor live. And good.
Right.
So great. So Rakhi, please go ahead. Your question. We are pounding Venkatesh, but you can ask me.
Venkatesh Sunkar, for actually giving us a complete understanding of the entire profile. I think what really stands out is if you compare it to the other programs that we may have in UpGrad in itself, whether it's an MS in computer science or in AI from certain universities. So for all of our learners, I just want to let you know that we operate on a credit transfer model, all of the programs at UpGrad. So initially, you do a part of the course here online and you do the remaining part on campus. For our tech courses or engineering courses in US, we generally have an Indian partner, which is IIIT Bangalore. But the unique aspect about this particular program is that the whole program is from Mercy University. And the length of time that you're going to spend in India is just 4 months, which means essentially that your intake becomes quicker and you can get to US sooner. The other thing, yes.
Rakhi, only one correction I want to make. Please use semester, because semester may not be exactly 4 months, 4.5 months.
Yes, 4.5.
So 1 semester they spend here, 4 semester they spend
there. 4
here.
semesters. They spend the remaining semesters there. Thank you, Professor Koru. Now, the other thing also...
One more question that people asked, and I think it's relevant. I'll just hold on and I'll go back to Venkatesh on that. Venkatesh, can you please expand the term CPT, OPT, and tell what it is for all of us?
Absolutely. So
sorry, Rakhi, but I think this is an important question.
Absolutely. Excellent question. So whenever you study in the US, guys, there are 2 opportunities for you to do basically work. One is called CPT and one is called OPT. Let me explain the CPT first and then I will take OPT. Why is it so significant to have a CPT? CPT stands for Curricular Practical Training. CPT, Curricular Practical Training. Now, CPT is done part of your coursework, which means to say you will be still in school and you can think about this sort of an internship. You can talk about it indirectly. So basically, CPT is part of your coursework. So when we say that you have 2 semesters of CPT, it's basically, which is part of your coursework, you will have that 2 semesters of CPT. Dr. Morti, do you want to add anything?
Exactly. No, I want to ask you a question. Can I earn during my CPT?
Absolutely.
Can I take a salary?
Yes, you can. You can earn during the salary. The only thing that you'll have to make sure is, I think it has to be routed through the university or something is there. We'll have to think about it. But the answer is no.
I think I was just checking. I think you can earn like you are in OPT. Absolutely, like an internship, you can take the salary. You can take as much salary as you want. It's not part-time or anything also.
So basically, CPT is when you are studying. That means to say you're still not graduated. So the great advantage of that is, since it is now embedded with our master's program, you can actually have 2 full semesters of CPT, which means to say you can work, find a job, so you'll be very comfortable. And most of the times what happens is the internship or the opportunity you'll find during the CPT will transform to a full-time work the moment you graduate, because I am 100% sure, because the way we are teaching the coursework is so good that you will be doing excel in your job, that you should be able to transition in a very easy manner.
Sure.
So Venkatesh, so please go ahead. So just I wanted to add here, from a finding an internship perspective, where exactly are the classes going to be held in Mercy, and is it in between industries, or how is it accessible? Can you please comment on that?
Absolutely. So obviously, guys, if you can, obviously today, when I went to US, I didn't even know where the university was. I just risked it and went to a university. Today with Google Maps, anybody can look at anything today and find anything sitting in any corner of the world, to be honest, right? So that advantage you have today, whereas so Mercy University, especially the classes will be held in sort of, downtown Manhattan, I can call it, or in the middle of Manhattan, which is sort of, the hub. So as you know, New York is the capital for 2 things. One, it is the financial capital of the world. Everybody knows. So most of the fintech sort of, finances and the big banks that you think about it, including Wall Street, are located in it. But a lot of people don't know that New York is also the hub for, what should I say, tech and healthcare tech industries. In a lot of healthcare tech industries and other tech industries are also located. I mean, companies are located. So it is a combination of that. So you will be probably in one of the hotbeds in the world, if you think about it, in terms of, technology, in terms of job opportunity. So that sort of talks about the CPT. So CPT, during your coursework, you have an opportunity. Now, once you graduate, in America, one of the things that they are doing it, since this is called a STEM program. What is a STEM program? It has to be something related with, technology, engineering, or, science, things like that. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and, medicine. So if it is one of that, you will get 3 years after you finish your graduation in order for you to work, which is called OPT. As an OPT stands for Optional Practical Training. OPT, Optional Practical Training, you will get 3 full years. The reason why you are going to get 3 years is because you are doing a STEM degree. So you have 2 semesters during your coursework, which is an internship to find it, and then 3 years. So that is how the transition between the CPT and OPT works.
And during CPT, I am allowed to work 20 hours. During OPT, I am allowed to work full time.
40, full, right? Basically, in the US, absolutely. So during CPT, you can work for 20 hours. In US, full time is considered 40 hours a week, Monday to Friday, generally 8 hours a day. 8 times 5 is 40.
So Venkatesh, so if I'm applying for my H1, so what you are saying is, if I have, because I have 3 years OPT, I get 3 chances to get my H1.
Okay.
And then, so without H1, I can work for 3 years, 9 months through my CPT and OPT in this program. And then I get 3 chances for my OPT.
Absolutely.
Thank you, my H1. Okay, great.
Thank
Rakhi,
you.
yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Venkatesh Sunkar. for explaining the details about OPT and CPT. Now, just to follow up to your question, one of the questions is, of course, the fact that it's an AIML, it's an MSCS with an AIML concentrations, and of course, the course is going to be expected to be rigorous. So, how are they going to balance it out if they are going to do a CPT? The other thing is, what kind of resources is the university offering in order to enable them to get the CPT?
So I will take the first part,
Sure.
and then otherwise I'll answer, and Venkatesh, you can add to it. So the first thing is, because you do 9 taught credits here, you will first, when you are in India, you are not doing any CPTs, OPTs, you take full time, 9 hours we teach every week, and remaining time while you're working, you will study and you'll prepare yourself. This will be rigorous. So please, to put for 9 hours, another 9 hours, even in the first 4.5 months to prepare yourself. You have to really learn well. Now you go there, your classes will still be 9 hours every week, but this time you don't have anything else to do. So 2 semesters, when you are doing 9 hours and 9 hours, 27 hours, that is fall and spring in US, you are studying for 9 hours and you are learning and practicing and learning more for the remaining rest of the week, at least 22 hours. During this time, you don't have any worry about any CPT. But by the time you complete your spring semester, which will be roughly May, you have June, July, August of summer, September, October, November, December of fall, during which time you don't have any coursework. So you can completely focus on applying this as an intern in a company. And 2 things. We support you. We have a team that helps you get these internships anywhere in US, because you don't have to be in New York for that time period once you are in CPT. We will support you. You are in Manhattan, as Venkatesh said, you can walk down and knock the door of Wells Fargo, Chase Manhattan, or whatever, or a health tech, or a fintech. By the way, New York is 45 minutes from New Jersey, which is, what should I say, hub of India. So almost all big software companies, the Indian offices, the US offices, headquarters are very much there. So you can walk there and get in. So you can yourself get it. In the worst case, neither of them happen. We give you an internship ourselves so that you complete your degree. We support you to get, you can get. If you don't get an outside thing, we will give you that capstone work and we'll support you with that. So you will complete your degree. So there is complete support, and you complete your coursework in AIML with a computer science background. And we teach you state-of-the-art curriculum. So there is very, very high demand for this in the market. And then you get 2 whole semesters to look for an internship and get it. Okay. Yeah. Venkatesh, anything I missed?
No,
please?
absolutely. I think you covered most of it, Dr. Morti.
Yes.
I think it's a good thing.
Yes, thank you, Professor Koru. That was very elaborately covered. And, one point that you mentioned therein, you teach state-of-the-art curriculum. I think now it's time to bring our learners' attention to also the curriculum, especially because this course is so unique. It's an MS in full stack AI ML. So I just want you both to help us understand how is it different from a pure MS in AI or an ML, or
Absolutely.
let's say even computer engineering, and of course, just a general full stack course as well.
Let me take a crack at it, and then Dr. Morti can definitely
Sure.
add whatever it is. So the way we have divided the courses, guys, there are 2 very unique aspects to our program. Let me talk. One aspect we've talked about is, obviously, we talked about the CPT and the OPT and the opportunity. That is a very, very unique thing that very rarely you find in any program, in MS. So that's a very unique thing. Now coming to the coursework, the way I see the coursework is, it has been sort of, I can say, divided into 3 sections. The first section, I would say, is sort of, basic foundations and machine learning. The second one I would talk about is deep learning and generative AI. The third one I look at it is DevOps and data engineering. Why I would talking about in these 3 sections, I'll talk about it. The first section, which I say foundations and machine learning. I know that some of you might come from a machine, AI background. Some of you may come from a regular computer science background. Some of you may not come from that background. So the first 3 courses that we have going to talk about is basically to teach you the basics of machine learning. And so the basics being statistics, basic programming like Python, if you're comfortable with it, and then, basic, introduction to machine learning and a slightly advanced machine learning. So this builds you a very strong foundation to do the next one. The next one is sort of, you can talk about is where the real thing that you will differentiate yourself, which is probably deep learning. We're talking about generative AI and all those courses that deal with it. When I use the word deep learning, we can talk about, you must have heard of the word computer vision. You must have heard of it, NLP, something called natural language processing. All that we will be covered in this deep learning, framework, or this section called, deep learning. The next one that is very uniquely we have designed it is not only you will be doing it from an AI perspective, but there's a very high concentration on the data engineering perspective. So you will do DevOps. Basically, what does it mean? How do I actually scale up this, large scale project? So if I want to do like a Netflix or an Amazon kind of a project, what are the things that I need to do? What are the basic things from a cloud perspective? How do I actually analyze my data on a cloud? All the data engineering perspective is also hitting. So for you, the opportunities would be not just, huge opportunities because you'll be talking about generative AI thing, but there is a huge part that also the companies are expecting you to do is, how do I set up these programs? How do I basically do it from a cloud perspective and everything? So all that is probably something that, you will learn. So for example, you must have read that, ChatGPT, I'm just using because everybody's talking about it, has 4 million parameters. Now, 4 million, what are these 4 million parameters? How do I scale that up? All that in the DevOps and piece of it, you will learn. So basically, foundation, machine learning, deep learning, and the data engineering perspective. So all 3 aspects in the course is being covered in our coursework.
Great. So thanks, Venkatesh. I don't think I'll add anything. For me, actually, I'll pose a question to Rakhi. So Rakhi, for me, the goodness of a program has 3 dimensions. Through this discussion, the first dimension is job opportunities. Wonderful. Sure. I think Venkatesh established that. Second one is the curriculum, quality of the curriculum, state of the art. I think Venkatesh elaborated it. Third one, of course, is investment and financials. My friend's son recently went to US in fact, in a different university in New York. He came to me and he said, you know what, the fee is $50,000, then another $25,000 I'm spending for the stay. So roughly I'm spending $75,000. That's like 65 lakhs. So in this program, do people get some relief from that, or how does the financials work? Can you please elaborate?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Professor Koru, for the question. So as we mentioned, this is a 20 months of program. So initially for the 4 months or term 1 or semester 1 that you're going to be doing in India, you are required to pay a tuition fee of 4 lakh INR. That is inclusive of everything. It also comes with your IELTS preparation, because you do know when you're going to Mercy University, you'll be required to apply with a EPT score, an English proficiency test score. And we at UpGrad are going to also help you with the preparation for the same. Now, when you go to Mercy University, that's a 16-month of program. And the tuition fee for that is $22,950. That is the tuition fee that is provided to you after a 20% scholarship. So this is an UpGrad exclusive scholarship for all our learners. And without the scholarship, your fee would have been approximately $39,240. So that is the reduction you're getting in terms of tuition. And of course, when you speak of the living cost, you are going to be in New York City. So it comes up to at least $22,000 per annum, $22,000 per annum. So essentially, you are spending not more than $50,000 on the course at New York City. That's what the fee is going to look like for you.
Okay, 1 minute. That's a lot of detail there, Rakhi. I'm just trying to, can the host enable me to share the Excel, please? Is it possible?
Yes, I'll do that.
please do it.
Yes, Professor Koru, you can share your screen now.
I just tried to put what you mentioned in the Excel here. And I want to highlight a couple of more features also. I use the assumption that $1 is 80 rupees. It's a bit more. So you said the living expenses is 22,000 for 1 year. So I actually took 1 year, but now, so the total is coming to, for me, 40 lakhs, as opposed to, as I said, something like 65 or 70 lakhs that the other program that I just talked about. So you are saving around 30 lakhs, but I want to bring another interesting point to the notice to the candidates. Number one, you are spending 1 year in US, but after 2 terms, you have the CPT. So actually, you can begin earning money after 9th month. So once you go there in September, October, November, December, Jan, Feb, March, April, May. So after the 10th month, you can actually start earning money. So this may come down even further a bit into like 37 or something. So what you're suggesting is roughly 50% savings in the expenses that people are looking at. That's wonderful. Thanks for clarifying all of that. And this is a wonderful scholarship also. Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah. I just wanted to put all of this on a paper and count it for my benefit. Okay,
sure,
please go ahead.
That's very helpful. And since we are speaking of the investment, I think the next question that we can take up is what kind of job opportunities, would our learners be eligible for, and what are the expected salaries so that they can have a fair idea of their return on investment?
I will take the first part, and then I will ask Dr.
Ahead.
Murthy to expand on it. I will just first take on the job opportunities part and what makes this program so different from any other master's program. And then I will allow Dr. Murthy to definitely talk about the actual job prospects and the salaries and everything. He can definitely talk. The reason I wanted to take that question is, guys, one of the things that I was mentioning in the coursework, right? As I told you, we have the basic foundations, then we have the deep learning and the data engineering. Another very unique part of our program, which I think very rarely you find it, I will guarantee most master's program in US is the hands-on training piece of it, which is a very, very unique thing. What we are trying to do is generally for most courses, I do not say for all courses because there are some courses where they may not need so much of hands-on, sort of, 1:1, you can say for every 1 or 2 hours of theory, you have 1 hour of hands-on. And these hands-on is basically, you will be actually doing projects that has been sort of, industry projects that either has been done from the internet or someplace which have real update sort of, or from we told earlier, in addition to teaching, we do a lot of training and also we do a lot of consulting. Those projects that we have done for consulting has been now transformed into actual projects. So when you work on the hands-on, this is a very, very unique thing. And so even before you start your CPT, forget your OPT, you would have done projects which you can actually write in a resume says what the industry is looking for. So that will give you a very unique perspective for you to get the jobs. With that, I will turn it over to Dr. Morti. He can talk about the types of jobs and the salary and things like that.
So that's actually, thanks, Venkatesh. In US, talking about salary is a tricky thing because it depends on the region where you are working. So, and the gap is humongous. In Silicon Valley, something like 130, 140 starting salary is not abnormal at all. Whereas currently I'm taking this call from Iowa, where 140,000 starting salary is probably the governor's salary. So, so it changes from place to place. So the way I want to take it up is, in the past 5 years, LinkedIn poll suggested that AIML gets the highest possible salary of all roles. The way I look at it, for me, when I am looking at for my kids' education, my biggest indicator of the ROI is what is the cost of education first entry-level salary ratio. for example, in a big business school in India, the cost of education is around 20 to 25 lakhs. And if the first salary is 15 lakhs, that is 0.6 ratio, it's a very good investment. If your first salary is 60% of your total money that you spent, education fee, not your living cost, education fee, it's a very good investment, 60%. In Mercy, actually, the cost of education, as Rakhi mentioned, is 28,000 or 30,000 roughly. Sorry, 28,000, including India and US. And the minimum salary anywhere is around 70K, maximum is around 150K as a fresher. I am assuming you just completed your college and did your master's. If you have 5 years of experience and came to Mercy, your salary will be higher. I'm assuming you just completed your BTech, you came to the college, you completed this 1 semester in India and 4 semesters in US, you applied for a job. Your salary based on the location ranges from 70 to 150,000. That is a staggering 3 to 5x of the total money you spent. That's unthinkably good ROI. Unthinkably, that's a phenomenally good ROI. So ROI wise, someone was asking, look, I am doing a PhD in AI and law. How does this course help? Please, I want you guys to understand, this course is for you to build a career in US. If you are in India, you take this course not only to learn AIML, but actually build a career in US. If that is your goal, this is the best course because your ROI is fantastic. You're learning a field that has the highest job potential, and you get 3 year, 9 month of visa-free, tension-free work opportunity in US. So that is the main objective. And salaries-wise, this has one of the most unbelievable ROIs that one can think about. Okay. Rakhi, did I answer your question on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for answering both of the questions in great detail. What really struck me is that this course is very, it provides for applied learning. And I think that is the need of the hour, because in the domain that we're speaking of, there are probably so many roles that we don't know of, but which will come up in the next 5 to 10 years. Now, that having been said, my next question for both of you, Dr. Sunkar and Professor Koru, would be that this program is an MS in Computer Science AIML. Would you also say that learners who are coming from a different background would be suitable for this program? And I'd like to take up this question from somebody who has done a PhD in AI and law. So I'm presuming they are from a legal background. Syed, you can elaborate on that. And is this course ideal for them if they also want to make a career in applied AIML in the United States?
I will take my own example. Venkatesh can take his own example.
Sure,
Guys,
sure. Yes.
my bachelor's, master's, PhD was in material science and engineering. It was atoms. Okay. Now I'm doing all right in machine learning. So AI and machine learning is a general purpose technology. So I think people with any engineering background or any science background for that matter will be able to do really well as AIML engineers. And Venkatesh, you can take your example also.
So similarly, if you look at my background, it's been in wireless communication, telecommunication. So basically waves to, bits, you can say, something like that, right? So because I've been, so absolutely it is 100% true. In fact, believe it or not, a lot of people who come from different backgrounds, in fact, so for example, non-computer science background also have done phenomenally well because that mindset is important. So absolutely you can, take up that. So that should not at all be an issue. That's the reason why when I told about the courses, the first 3 courses, we are actually doing it in terms of programming and foundation because we absolutely know that we have students from a diverse background.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for answering that. So the 4 months of course, that is some, during those 4 months, it is sufficient to, let's say, gain those skill set or achieve those skill set, which will allow you to take out maximum from the course at Mercy. Would you say that, Dr. Sunkar?
Absolutely, and that's the reason why those 4 months, that's the reason why the hands-on component is so important. Because whenever you learn these things, it is not just the theory. Theory plus hands-on is what makes it really good. So absolutely, we can, sort of talking about it, and and believe it or not, not because I'm saying it, because you will be taught by really good professors.
Sure. Sure. Thank you so much, Dr. Sunkar. There's also another question from a learner. They mentioned that they are 33 years of age, if that is material. They have done their masters in IT. So they are from the IT field, but they have 7 years of career gap. They do have some freelancing experience during that period of time, but they are wondering if they are eligible for this program.
So do you want to take that, Dr. Murthy, or do you want me to?
Yeah, sure. Guys, MS is for anyone who completed a bachelor's. I mean, a fresher can join. Okay. But obviously, because you didn't work or you didn't study for a long time, you have to put in a lot more effort to get good grades in the course and establish. But eligibility wise, there's no issue at all. Okay. So someone asked, UpGrad Axel program, Yeshiva University MS in AI, and I'm still doing the online part. Can you compare both this course? Is it possible to move from one to the other? Whether it's possible to move from one to the other, I'm not really sure, Raki, because I think his university admission, if it happened, it cannot be moved. Difference-wise, to the best of my knowledge, this particular Mercy program is the one that gives that 9-month CPT as part of the course. I think that is a big difference between this program or any other program. Second thing, if I'm right, the Indian part of all other study abroad programs of UpGrad runs for around 8 months because it is self-paced. Whereas here, because we are teaching it in person live, not in person live, we complete it in 1 semester. So you save around 4 months or 5 months study time, and you get 9 months of CPT time for this Mercy program. Obviously, Venkatesh and I designed this program, so we are a lot more excited about this program. So those who designed Yeshiva probably will be able to talk about the positives of that program. About switches, I think the counselors, someone else has to look at where they are, etc. Raki, I can't help on that.
I'd like to add to that. Thank you, Dr. Koru. So the program at Yeshiva that you're speaking of, like Professor Koru also mentioned, it's a 8 months of course that you're initially doing online, but that is from an Indian partner, that is IIIT Bangalore. So essentially, that will not make you eligible for the Mercy University program because the structure of this program is different. It's 4 months at Mercy, as Professor Koru mentioned, that is not self-paced, but that is going to be taught by the professors. And thereafter, you spend 12 months at Mercy. But nevertheless, I think since we're speaking of MSAI, I would like to just take one last question regarding the curriculum. And the reason I want to take this up is because we have done an extensive research and looked at the tech courses or AIML courses offered by some of the more prestigious university, whether it's Georgia Institute of Technology, Columbia, University of Pennsylvania. And what we found is that most of those courses are in pure machine learning, like MS in machine learning, or let's say MS computational science and engineering, or engineering in embedded systems, but we haven't come across a course in MS computer science full stack AIML. So on that note, I just want to ask both of you, what were your thoughts when you engineered this course, and what kind of vision do you have for learners who complete this program, whether it's to pursue a career in the US or also elsewhere?
So here is the thing, Raki. Until 4 or 5 years back, primarily when one was talking about machine learning data science, one was looking at building a software that questions a database and gets some patterns and gives the answers. This really didn't require too much of computer science knowledge because you needed to learn a bit of SQL, a bit of Python coding, and then ask the question, nicely do a visualization. That was data science machine learning. But now ChatGPT is a trillion connections. It's almost as complicated as human brain. Okay. To do that compute, you need massively large computer systems, massively large databases. We are talking about entire internet or entire Wikipedia at least, to train. And now that ChatGPT is accessed by every day more than 5 to 6 million people. So to build a system like that, to build a Netflix recommendation engine, which at any given point is accessed by 150, 200 people every second. Okay. So these kinds of systems require not only the ML knowledge, but also the computer engineering knowledge, software engineering knowledge. People are not happy anymore about simple decision support systems. Organizations want a full-blown automation system where you build it end to end. Now that requires all three things that Venkatesh mentioned: the foundational statistical machine learning knowledge, the applied algorithmic knowledge of deep learning NLP, and computer engineering, computer software engineering development knowledge. And this is um, the perfect combination of the skills for tomorrow's jobs. And that is what we both have. While we were brainstorming to design it, we said, how do we bring all of this together and make it applied and give that the CPT OPT combination? So that's what we did. So there is a question about how is this degree different from Golden Gate degree? I think, do we offer a Golden Gate MS in data science, Raki? What is our program?
Right. So we do offer a master's in business analytics from Golden Gate University. Yes, that is completely different. Yes.
Okay, master's in business analytics. Business analytics is for non-tech guys who want to use analytics, work with data scientists to build a decision support system, etc. So it is more a non-technical program with mostly suitable for MBA students. This, on the other hand, is for engineering and science graduates. Obviously, there's a lot more demand for this technical kind of program. So they are two different ball games altogether.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Professor Koru. Dr. Sunkar, would you like to add anything to the question?
Absolutely. So obviously, as the Dr. Morti said, this one, business analytics is, definitely, it's not, so if you want a technical degree, this is the one. But more importantly, to talk about your previous questions, why did we design it the way we designed it? I think it's more, thing is, one of the things that we also wanted to sort of think is, as Dr. Morti rightfully said, we saw what were the trends that are coming in, and we wanted to make sure is, when you, basically, guys, you need to be ready not for today, but 3 years from today or 2 years from today when you graduate. And today, the way changes are happening in AI world, 2 years means to say it's a huge amount of changes are going to happen. So sort of we wanted to make sure forward looking, what is it that's going to happen? And so we thought these are the sort of the right kits or the tools that you have to have in your arsenal for you to be sort of both job ready or industry ready and / industry, what's your research ready, because I'm sure 1 or 2 or even 5% of you folks would like to now pursue a PhD. So it's not only you have to go to a job and do it and absolutely right, but maybe 5% of you, I'm sure I want to do a PhD. Do you have the right tools even to do that? It's a combination of that we saw and we designed this program.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Sunkar, for actually bringing that point up, even if you would like to do a PhD, because there was a question that after doing this course, should there be a learner who's inclined more towards academia? So what is the professional and research scope that you could have in the US after completing this program?
Okay. So they want to do a PhD after this program or get into academia? So honestly, Rakhi, if one is keen on doing a PhD, I wouldn't probably recommend this program. Okay. So let's not beat around the bush. This program is wonderfully, suitably designed for people who want to start working as soon as possible in US with a advanced degree, which is a master's. If you are interested in a research kind of a program, if you are a working professional, try out some of the doctorate of business administration programs that we have. They have some research component. Or you can also directly apply for a PhD program in US with a bachelor's degree. You can do that. But this is a professional program. So you do a master's, you learn applied skills, you do a CPT, then you do an OPT, and you join a job, you establish your career, you get an H1. That is the path this program provides.
Absolutely. Thank you, Professor Koru. And also, if a learner, so just to put it differently, what if they're inclined towards pursuing a career, let's say in public policy? Would you say that this would also pave a roadmap for that?
Public
policy research, because I do understand when you say that this is very hands-on and it has a focus more on applied ML AI, but I believe that the knowledge of that is also going to be helpful in designing.
So yeah, but from what you're saying is someone with an engineering or a science background wanting to do public policy, or someone, I think there's one learner who talked about legal background. Are you referring this question to them? Because more than 99% of our students have an engineering or a science background. So it's very, very unlikely that they want to pursue a public policy research and take a AIML course to do that. So if it is about that legal person, it's such a specific thing, please handle it one-on-one on a separate thing. The majority of our learners are engineering, science background. They do math, they do physics, they do engineering. They learn AIML and they join as a tech team in a fintech, health tech, IT, retail kind of a company. And so and they get a job as quickly as possible in US, earn a lot. So this is designed for those things.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Professor Koru, Dr. Venkatesh Sunkar. This has been an incredible discussion, and it's been a pleasure to host the both of you. We do have some questions, which is with respect to the procedural aspects. So somebody has asked what happens if one doesn't clear a visa interview. So I'd like to let you know that at UpGrad, we do provide visa services. So we do coach you on how to clear your visa interview. That's all part of the process. And more on that is something our counselors will help you with. And this includes the question with respect to the non-collateral education loan. Of course, we do also offer provisions with respect to financial assistance. So for all of that, my colleague Ayushi has put a link on the chat box, and you can use that link to get in touch with our counselors, and we'd be happy to help you. But before we close, I thank you so much to the both of you, Dr. Koru and Dr. Venkatesh Sunkar. And any final thoughts from the both of you for our learners?
So let me start and then Dr. Morti can finalize it. To be honest, right, two things. One thing is, as we have mentioned it, we're very excited about this program, not because, obviously because we designed it, obviously, but more than that, I feel this is truly a program that can give you a hands-on approach, has this opportunity to do 2 semesters worth of CPT even before you graduate, and then you get 3 years of OPT, which is a fantastic, I think, sort of a framework in which you can do. So that way it is a great program with, I think, a very reasonable in terms of affordability and everything, and that too in a city that is, I don't have to sell New York to anybody. So that is what it is.
Yeah, wonderful. And the only thing that I want to add here is this can bring a unbelievable transformation in your careers, provided you work very hard. This is not going to be, you want in 1 year to enhance your earning potential by 10x. You better work that hard, right? It doesn't come easily, right? So both the outcomes are magical, provided your inputs are magical, right? So I encourage you to take it very seriously, and anyone who wants to establish a career in AIML in US should seriously give it a thought, because this is one of the best programs. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you so much once again. On that note, we are going to close on the webinar. It was a pleasure interacting with both of you, and I'm sure our learners have had to learn so much about the program and about a career in the US as well. And we are hoping to see a lot of enrollments. So thank you once again. Good evening, and we look forward to hosting you again very soon.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.